Hello. This is the Sodor News Network Hour. I'm Stuart Stenningham, your host, where we talk about all that is being talked about on the island of Sodor. Last week, there was a horrible train derailment in which numerous children were lost due to very naughty boys jumping off the train. There's also rumors, especially those advocated for by Senator Joseph McCarthy of America, that there was communist involvement in this horrible train derailment. We'll have an update for you later on the recovery, as well as the new paint job and wash down that Gordon was able to receive after suffering the indignity of this terrible, horrible train derailment. The circus, which was diverted from the island of Sodor, has completed its time on the Isle of Man. Many of the residents of Sodor were able to visit the circus. However, many children were unable to do so because of the distance required to travel to the Island of Man from the Island of Sodor, especially with our railway system not quite being fully recovered. Hopefully, later in the hour, we'll hear from Sir Hopham Tat on the recovery efforts of his rail line. There are some exciting things happening at the Sodor Aquarium, and to talk more about it, let's go live to our correspondent on the scene there at the Sodor Aquarium, Luna Flora. Luna, good afternoon. How are things there at the Sodor Aquarium?
They're great.
Well, what's so great about the Sodor Aquarium?
They got a new dolphin, and they got
A new dolphin.
axolotl.
A new dolphin and a new exo. Well, that's great. Now, what do they need an X-ray for at the Sodor Aquarium?
Axolotl.
Yes, an X-ray machine. Very nice. Now, is this X-ray machine digital or is it still using the plates?
It's an axolotl.
An excellent X-ray machine. Well, that's delightful. I'm glad we have the top of the line equipment there at the Sodor Aquarium. That way, if any of the dolphins or other fish break a leg or something of that sort, they'll be able to X-ray and find the location of the fracture very speedily and expeditiously, because we don't like confusion or delay here on the island of Sodor. Now, Luna, what's that you're holding in your hand there?
It's an axolotl.
An excellent specimen. How very nice! I see it's blue. Does the excellent specimen there have a name?
Yes, blueberry.
Excavator.
Yes, an excavator.
Not an excavator, an excavator.
Yes, we'll be going to see some excavators very much soon as we go to survey the recovery efforts.
Excavator.
Yes, in El Dorado, Texas. I'm sure.
No, an axolotl. Not an excavator or an excavator. It's an axolotl.
Thank you. So, tell me about this critter you're holding in your hand there, Luna.
Well, she has some problems with
She has problems.
eating.
Don't we all have problems? Yes, problems.
with
Well, we're not here to talk about my problems. Tell me about the problems of this little critter.
Well, she has some problems with eating.
Oh, no. You know, in America, they have many problems eating, with people eating too much. There are restaurants there in America called Golden Corral, where you can literally eat yourself into a coma with the chocolate fountain. Is that related to some of this critter's problems at the Sodor Aquarium?
Well, no, it's just her mouth. It's hard for her to chew because we think part of her jaw might have her jaw might be like her bone might be breaking.
Does she suffer from TMJ?
Yes.
Terrible. And who's this other critter next to you?
Oh, well, this is the new dolphin.
This is the new dolphin. Now, what is this dolphin's name?
Echo, because whenever you whistle, she whistles too.
Remarkable. Would Echo care to demonstrate this technique and skill that she has of whistling?
Oh, she would love to. She loves whistling.
Wonderful. Can she whistle the Colonel Bogey March?
No, well, like, I'll whistle and then she'll copy what I whistle.
Marvelous, marvelous. Well, now tell me about Echo. Where was she taken from prior to her residence at the Sodor Aquarium?
Well, let's go.
This is the fire, and if you want it, it's mine.
Yes, well, there are some naughty boys on Sodor that interfere with news media reporting. Tell me about where was Echo before she arrived at the Sodor Aquarium?
Well, she got separated from her pod.
Her pod. Does she have a podcast, or was she cast out of the pod?
A pod is a group of dolphins that live together, and every dolphin lives in a pod, but some dolphins get away from the pod, and that is a very bad. It's really bad for the dolphin.
Would you say that it's a horrible disaster to be cast out of one's pod?
Yes, and every dolphin cares for each other and loves each other. And they also, like, a dolphin by itself can die by a shark because one shark against one dolphin, the dolphin could die because dolphins have echolocation on the front of their brains, but they don't have echolocation behind them, so the shark could attack behind.
The shark could attack from behind and sneak up there. A surprise attack, you might say, from the sharks.
Yes, and
well, that would indeed. The mako.
The mako can go faster than a dolphin, so dolphins and pods have to work together to get rid of makos, but a dolphin by itself doesn't have any other dolphins to help it get away from the mako, so the dolphin could die by the mako.
Well, we don't want to have fried dolphin for supper, so we're glad to welcome Echo to the island of Sodor and our wonderful little community there. What's that you're holding, Luna?
It's a picture that they took when they found Echo when she got separated from her pod.
I see. It looks a bit impressionistic, I think, there. I'm glad they were able to rescue Echo from shore disaster. Ah, here she's whistling at us. Hello there, Echo. Very nice there. Now, Luna, tell me about some of the diet that the Sodor Aquarium feeds these critters.
Well, they feed the dolphin fish like they would eat in the wild. And if they can be released in the wild, they will put live fish in their tank. And then so the dolphins can try to chase the fish and get it. So when they're released back into the wild, they will know how to hunt.
Is this the plan for Echo, that she will be released back into the wild when she has been rehabilitated?
Maybe, because Echo, she gets away from the pod very often. And we know this because we've been keeping an eye on her pod since we found her pod, and we've been counting the dolphins, and we've been noticing that Echo has been leaving the pod and coming back. So, like, she might not be released back into the wild.
Well, perhaps Echo wants to return to the pod, but simply wanted to get away to see some sights, or perhaps start a podcast. Everyone has a podcast now. There's been some definite podcast inflation with the quantity of podcasts increasing, but the quality of these new podcasts seems to be rapidly decreasing. So perhaps Echo is part of this phenomenon of podcast inflation.
Well, dolphins, when they're by themselves, they could die. And so if Echo leaves the pod, she could die. So we don't. So we're going to try to train her with other dolphins at the marine aquarium to make her stay with the pod and teach her how to not leave the pod and that it's dangerous to leave the pod and it's normal for dolphins to do this because Echo's just a kid.
I see. Well, better to live in captivity than to die a free dolphin. I understand the philosophy there of the Sodor Aquarium. Well, Luna, thank you very much. We will certainly be keeping up to tabs on what's going on at the Sodor Aquarium, a number of new critters, as well as a new X-ray machine there at the Sodor Aquarium. What's that you're holding? Is that more impressionistic art?
It's a picture of the axolotl.
My, it's in full color. Most of the X-rays I've seen are just black and white, but this Sodor Aquarium certainly does have the best of the newest of the finest equipment. Thank you, Luna, for this report. Well, I've been Stuart Stenningham here, reporting for the Sodor News. We'll have more updates in the hour to come as the island of Sodor continues to recover from this horrible train disaster. As of now, we have no news or comments since that initial statement from Sir Hopham Tat regarding the safety of the railway. So keep it right here. We'll be back after these messages on the Island of Sodor Network News.
Hi, fellow residents of Sodor. I, Sir Hopham Tat, your fat controller, am pleased to announce the repair of more than 80% of our railway from the damage caused by the attack of the dragons and the horrible train derailment caused by the very naughty boys jumping from the track. In conjunction with these repairs, I am pleased to introduce Formsly, the dragon rider who will be helping to protect our railway from the future attacks of dragons. Hello, Formsly.
Actually, I'm Astrid. My dragon's name is Stormfly.
Oh, hello, Stastrid. It's wonderful to have you here on the island of Sodor.
Yes, and the dragon rider's Hiccup, Fish Legs.
I'm sorry you have the hiccups.
No, Hiccup is our leader.
Hiccups are your leader
and yes.
has hiccups.
Oh, and
Hiccup has a night fury.
oh yes, and the red little fly circle back there is Flynn, the fire engine.
Yes, in addition to assistance from the dragons, we also have acquired Flynn, the fire engine whom James will be transporting to the Island of Sodor Safety Center. In a few moments, perhaps I will introduce you to Flynn. But in the meantime, I think it's important that we hear from someone on the ground who has been assisting with the recovery efforts. I'm here with Podo Gillespie of the construction firm who will be walking me through some of the continued and ongoing rebuilding repair efforts here on the island of Sodor. Podo, what do you think is going on here?
Well, let me tell you, Sir Topham Hat, this is one of the worst disasters I've ever seen on a train track. Whoever's in charge of this railway should be flogged, or my name's not Podo Gillespie. We've got Harvey here moving the heavy rocks off the track so we can get this intersection and conjunction reconjugated so the trains and the verbs can do all their work. Then you gotta clear the train's tracks of the trees. I'm telling you, Sir Topham Tat, this railway is not gonna be functional by Christmas. I need more men. I need more money. You've got a big old mess here. What are you gonna do about it, Tat?
Hi, and the dragons will. And if you need any help, my team.
We got it so much stuff for carrying it.
My team can help you unload the rubble and carry it to the places we need very fast.
I don't know if we can have dragons carrying the rubble. We're a union shop, and it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as the union gets paid. And so we're not going to have non-union dragon riders here moving this rubble. This rubble doesn't get moved unless a union man moves the rubble. Is that clear, Dragon Lady?
Yeah, but I'm sure you could use a little help.
We don't need help. What we need is more money and more union men. Sir Topham Tat, can you provide us with both money and union workers?
Podo, I'm sure that Bert can help you get more money.
We don't need burps. What we need is money. Sir Topham Tat, can you provide what we need to get this railway clear?
I'm certain that whatever is needed for the reopening of the railway can be provided by the island of Sodor, as the residents desperately need their railway for the delivery of the mail. And so, Mr. Gillespie, you have my solemn promise as the Fat Controller that the island of Sodor will provide whatever is needed to Construction E so that the railway can be reopened, whatever the cost may be.
So Topham Hat, you said, speaking of money, well, you said you would pay the riders a lot of money as long as we make sure the railway is safe, but you promised that you would pay us today and, well, yesterday, and you haven't paid us yet. Because we need that money for Burke and Vigo.
I'm certain all demands from the island of Sodor will be paid. Just a moment ago, I received a text message from the Earl of Sodor, who pledged £1 gazillion for the recovery efforts on the island of Sodor, because we can simply print money as a government entity. Isn't that wonderful, Astrid?
Yes, but I'm glad that your railway is getting fixed. But
us dragon riders need money for Berg.
Everything that is necessary will be provided, or my name is not Sir Hopham Tat. Thank you. Well, in a moment I would like to introduce you to our fire engine who has been purchased with funds to ensure the safety of the island of Sodor. I'm here at the Sodor Rescue Center with Janner McBurdle's son to introduce to the residents of Sodor, Flynn, the fire engine. Hello there, Flynn.
Well,
how are you?
Well, not that good because my tile is flat. My tile.
That's terrible.
And I need to get them pumped back up. And so that's why I came to the repair shop. And James is carrying me. The number 5 engine that is sometimes mean, sometimes not mean.
I have a question for you, Flynn. Do your tires require oxygen or nitrogen? Are they filled with air or nitrogen?
Yeah.
Flynn?
Well, kind of. They do need ale, and they do need pumps, and stuff.
Well, have you considered filling your tires with nitrogen, which suffers less leakage?
Well, so I guess.
Wonderful. We at the Sodor Safety Center are so grateful to have you because safety is the #1 concern here on Sodor and on Sir Hopham Tat's railway. That's why we've hired dragon riders to protect us, and we have engaged in the printing of trillions of pounds of currency in order to quantitatively ease. Oh no! We're under attack by giant boulders! Dragon riders, save us!
Don't worry, Sir Topham Hatt. Vigo and Riker won't attack Sodor. I've made a bargain with them that if they promise never to attack Sodor, we won't attack their ships for a week. Which it was very hard to deal with Hiccup because they're dragon printers.
Well, that's wonderful. And if additional currency is required, the Sodor printing press can provide an infinite amount of currency to ensure the safety of the island of Sodor.
And we're back here in the studio at the ISN Network headquarters. This is Stuart Stenningham for the Sodor News Hour. As you heard from Sir Hopham Tat himself, billions are being printed to fund the rebuilding of Sir Hopham Tat's railway here on Sodor. The process is about 80% complete at this time. It will require billions more, both for protection of the railway from the dragon riders, as well as to fund the union graft, which will inevitably take place as they are using union workers, demanding more and more money to pay for the reconstruction of the railway. We can only anticipate massive inflation in the years to come here on the island of Sodor as a result of the printing of vast amounts of currency. Well, I'm getting reports now of a commotion at the aquarium. Let's go now live to our consultant, Luna Flora, who is there at the Sodor Aquarium. Luna, hello.
Well, the dolphin has been stolen. Echo has been stolen.
A dolphin has gone missing. There's a critter caper at the Sodor Aquarium at this time. What can you tell us about this missing dolphin?
We don't know who stole it.
Well, I suppose if you knew who stole it, it would be easier to track down the culprits at this critter caper at the Sodor Aquarium.
We think they might have stole the dolphin to get money because on the island of Sodor, people capture dolphins and then sell them and they get tons of money.
Do you think Sir Hopham Tat might be involved, given the massive costs involved with the repair of his railway?
I don't think so. Well, he might be, but this is his island. He can just tell someone to go and capture a dolphin and bring it.
Interesting. Perhaps he told someone to capture Echo, 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 the dolphin. Is it too early, perhaps, to speculate as to motives, since we are not yet certain who the culprit is or may be?
We don't think it's a Topham Hat because while the dolphin was being stolen, one of our reporters was interviewing Sir Topham Hat.
So Sir Hopham Tat has an alibi, as they say on the caper shows. What efforts are being undertaken in order to locate and possibly save this dolphin before he's turned into tuna?
Well, no one's allowed to eat dolphin on this island.
Well, that's why they repackage the dolphin as tuna. Tuna always tastes better when it's got a smattering of dolphin within the can.
Well, not a lot of people here like tuna, but
Are the police involved at this time, or is this a matter for the what agency would be responsible for tracking down a missing dolphin?
Well, the police, because police know thieves.
Police do know thieves. They do know thieves. That's for certain. Are there any other details that you can help us to understand and wrap our minds around this terrible tragedy at the Sodor Aquarium? A missing dolphin. Were any other critters absconded with?
Well, no, except it wasn't just Echo. It seemed like they were going for all the dolphins, because all of the dolphins are missing.
All the dolphins are missing at the Sodor Aquarium. This will certainly impact the frequency of the dolphin show. Sodor has suffered a series of calamities in recent weeks with the diversion of the circus and now the loss of the dolphin show. What impact do you imagine this will have on the tourism industry here on the island of Sodor?
Well, Echo was going to have her first show, like a dolphin show, like doing jumps with other dolphins, so she can get used to spending with other dolphins if she ever gets released back into the wild. And since she swims away from the pod, we're doing this. We're especially trying to get her to go in shows so she can spend time with other dolphins. And all the people are like, if there's no dolphins, how will we watch the show?
Well, they'll have to catch an old show on YouTube or something of that sort. Now, how are we certain that this was the theft of dolphins and not an escape? Could this have been a critter conspiracy at the Sodor Aquarium in which Echo convinced the other dolphins to escape back to the sea to rejoin the pod?
No, because there's no water around the aquarium.
The aquarium is out of water. A new scandal here on the island of Sodor. You heard it here first on the Sodor News Hour with Stuart Stenningham. There's no water at the aquarium.
There is water, but there's no water outside of the aquarium. And dolphins need to stay wet, even though they're mammals and they breathe air. They need to stay wet.
They need to stay wet. So what you're saying is there's plenty of water inside the aquarium, but not outside the aquarium. Well, this is certainly a critter caper here on the island of Sodor. You keep your dial tuned right here to the ISN News Network now as we follow all the details of this terrible, tragic theft of dolphins on the island of Sodor. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And we're back here on the Island of Sodor News Network. I'm Stuart Stenningham here on the Sodor News Hour. Just to update you after the break, we've had a terrible tragedy at the Sodor Aquarium. A number of dolphins have been stolen. We've been hearing from our correspondent on the scene, Luna Flora. But now let me take you to the Navy as we find out from Commodore John Fireshark what the Navy is doing in an attempt to locate these missing dolphins. Commodore Fireshark, can you hear me?
I'm ready to talk now.
You're ready?
I'm ready to talk.
The Navy is prepared to give a statement. Commodore, what's happening with the search for these dolphins?
Well, I might know who might have did it. It might have been T-Rex Ogle. Wait, no, not T-Rex Ogle. T-Rex Legs.
It might have been a T-Rex legs.
No, his name is T-Rex Legs because he's really like a T-Rex and he's kind of ugly.
He's kind of optically challenged in terms of visage. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he's kind of ugly.
Well, I didn't know the Navy was using words like ugly or fat or things like that. Might hurt someone's self-esteem, you know.
Well, he's not exactly ugly, mostly fat.
I think that people prefer the term big boned now rather than fat.
Yes.
Fat,
Okay.
yes. So tell me, Commodore, what's the Navy doing to help locate
Yes.
these dolphins?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. So the Navy is helping with the search, Commodore, for the dolphins which are missing.
Oh, yeah.
Is that very
Yeah.
very nice?
Yeah. Yeah. What did you
Does
say?
the
I couldn't
Navy
really
have
tell.
Does the Navy
What'd you
have
say?
many ships involved in the search for the dolphins?
Well, I have a net sail ship, and it is very well. And I. Hello.
Hello there, Commodore.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, you have
And I
a
see.
net tanker.
Yes, and well, not a tank. It's a battle. It's a ship, and I have 3,001 ships and 4,500.
3,001 ships.
Yeah, and the mostly battleships.
Mostly battleships. Now, do the battleships have destroyers and cruisers to protect them? Or are these battleships being sent out unescorted as they look for the dolphins, which are missing from the Sodor Aquarium? This is quite a critter caper.
Well, they have cages and nets. The cages are full of water. So the net.
Okay, that's very helpful when hoping to capture dolphins, because as we heard from our correspondent Luna Flora, dolphins require water.
Right. It might not be that guy. It might be Snot Loud.
We're now suspecting the dragon riders are involved in the theft of the dolphins. Is that what you're saying, Commodore Fireshark?
It might be Snot Loud.
Might be snot loud. Now, Commodore, what evidence does the Navy have that the dragon riders who were hired to protect the island might be involved?
Something happened.
What happened? Something happened at the Sodor
Wait,
Aquarium,
never
yes?
mind. Never mind. It just went back to normal.
That's what we like. So are you saying things are back to normal at the Sodor Aquarium, Commodore?
Wait. Not like on the camera sync. On the camera sync, okay?
Oh, you're having technical difficulties, eh?
Well, there was this orange thing that just popped out from the ceiling. I don't know why, but it gets like, I know.
Are you suggesting the Orangemen might be involved from Ulster?
No, the orange thing popped up right on there. It's in, I didn't know what it meant. And it just popped up to normal.
Commodore John Fireshark Jr. from the Navy providing an update to us on what they're doing to locate the missing dolphins. Thank you, Commodore. Well, let's go back now to our correspondent, Luna Flora, at the Sodor Aquarium. Luna, have there been any additional information released at this time regarding the dolphins which are missing?
Well, yes. They think they might know who the thief is because a year ago they lost 10 of their dolphins and they had 20. So they are checking on the cameras now to see if they can see any thief on their cameras.
20 dolphins at the Sodor Aquarium. That's a lot of dolphins. They seem to be very careless with them. To lose one dolphin is understandable. To lose two is tragic. To lose 10 suggests a conspiracy. And now it seems as though all 20 dolphins at the Sodor Aquarium have been lost. Now, has anyone checked the tuna cannery here on the island of Sodor?
What's the tuna cannery?
Yes, where they can the tuna. We want to make sure that these dolphins weren't accidentally shipped to the canning factory where the tuna is produced.
Yes, they check there everywhere.
They checked everywhere. Perhaps they should check the ocean then.
Dolphins cannot get into the ocean by themselves. They need help getting into the ocean if they're on an island.
Would it have been possible that they summoned an Uber? My understanding is that these dolphins are highly intelligent critters. Could they have summoned an Uber to take them to the beach where they might have shimmied themselves into the water?
No, that is not possible. Because there were tons
That's
of people
not
at the
possible.
beach. Because
Well,
tons
tell me
of
now,
people
what's going on at the aquarium now without the dolphins? Are there any other animals still remaining at the aquarium?
Yes.
What animals are there?
Well, the axolotl.
Yes, they have an escalator now at the aquarium. That's good. Would that have? Do you think that would have made it easier for the thieves to transport? If indeed, now we don't want to go accusing anyone. It may have been that these dolphins just decided to reclaim their freedom. Would they have used the escalator to get down and get on the Uber? How many vehicles
They,
are estimated?
they do
What's that,
not have
Luna?
an They do not have an escalator. They have an
No escalators.
They have an axolotl.
An axolotl. Well, isn't that
Yes.
nice? Now, what does this axolotl do?
Well, scientists are still studying axolotls, so I don't, and not many people know about axolotls. So I'm one of those people that doesn't know a lot about axolotls. So
Well, we shouldn't want to encourage ignorance here on the Sodor News Hour. We would encourage everyone to still continue to patronize the Sodor Aquarium despite the lack of dolphins. In other news, there's been a sale on tuna at the local grocery store. You can now get 10 cans for $1. Sounds like a good deal. They seem to have some excess supply of tuna meat. Well, thank you, Luna. We've reached the bottom of the hour here on the Sodor News Hour. We'll talk to you again tomorrow with further updates on this terrible critter caper at the Sodor Aquarium. Good night.